This question, first of all, you're asked to write 1/4 as a percentage. This is one you just really ought to know. You need to learn a couple of things about percentages and fractions. 1/4 is 25%, and that will be the answer to this question. It's worth mentioning that a few others you need to know. A half is the same as 50%, and 3/4 is the same as 75%. It is worth just learning those three. So the answer for the first part here is going to be 25%. The next question, 30% as a decimal. If it says a decimal, again, it's a fairly sort of simple rule. 30% is 0.30 or 0.3. If you just look at a few more, 40% would be 0.40. 50% would be 0.50. 60%, 0.60. So if they're multiples of 10, like 40, 50, 60, 70, you just do the same over here. If it's a bit more complicated number like 12%, that would be 0.12 or 0.12 as we should say. If it's 5%, you need to be a bit careful there. It's not 0.5. We've already had that one up here. This isn't a double-digit number. 5% is like 0.5%, and that one over here is 0.05. That's if they get a bit harder. For this question here, the answer was 0.30 or just 0.3. So here I've got three numbers, and I've got to write them as the smallest first. Well, this one here, 1/4, we already know is the same as 25%. So I'll just put that in under that one. We've already got that one as a percentage, that's 30%. 0.2, now if we look at what we did a minute ago, 0.2, if we follow this pattern, you might expect 0.2, which is the same as 0.20. That will be 20%. So 0.2 is 20%. So I've got 20%, 30% and 25%. So the smallest first will be the 20% one, which in the question they had as 0.2. Next smallest will be 25%, which they had in the question as 1/4. And the final one will be the 30%, which was a percent in the question. Part B, complete the following. We're now moving on to fractions only. We've got two fractions here, mystery number up here, and these fractions are supposed to be equal to each other. Well, look at what have they done to the bottoms. To get from there to there, they have times the bottom number by 6. 3 times by 6 is 18. So if they've times the bottom by 6, is do exactly the same to the top. 2 times by 6 is 12, and that is the mystery number up there. In this one it's similar. If we look at what's happened here, to get from 4 to 20, you've times by 5. And in these questions you must always think about timesing and dividing. So they've times the bottom number by 5 to get from here to here. But we're actually not going that way round. We're going the other way around really. We're starting with here, with 15 and working backwards. So if going left to right has been timesing by 5, so going the other way, going right to left, going backwards must be the opposite of timesing by 5, which is dividing by 5. So here, to get from right to left, if we do 15 divided by 5, which is 3, that will be our answer. And we can just check, is 3 times by 5 15? Yes it is, so we know we've got that one right. So the next question, moving on down here, working out 3/8 as a decimal. 3/8 means 3 divided by 8, and that's probably the best way of doing it, is to do the number 3 divided by 8. Now I've put an extra long thing on here because I know I'm going to have to put some noughts on as we go. I'll explain. 8 into 3 doesn't go at all, so naught will go up there. And if you ever write a naught there, a 3, or whatever number here, goes over here. So now I'm asked for 8 into 30. Well, my 8 times table, if I just write it down quickly over here, part of it, 8 into 30 go 1, 2, 3 times. 3/8 were 24. And from 24 up to 30 means I've got 6 left over. Put that little 6 there. If there's a little number there, I need another big naught to carry on. Now I'm doing 8 into 60. I carry this on over here. 8 into 60, I'm going to use this number here. It's the smallest, it's the biggest number that's under 60. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Put the 7 up there. So 8 sevens are 56, and to get from 56 up to 60, there are 4 more to go. Put that 4 there, that's like my remainder. And I need another big naught there to carry on. 8 into 40, well, it's in my list, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. There's no remainder, so the question stops. The only thing I do need to do now is, because I had a decimal point here in my question, put a decimal point directly above it in my answer. That's what you do when you do divides. So the answer to that question is a number at the top. It's 0.375.